Hey, John. How are you? I can't hear you. And some of those things I want to touch on with you. As you know, the persuasive presentation, it's not due until August 2nd, right? 11:59 Eastern time. The constant question I get, and I put it in announcements, and I may have even sent it out in a message, given that we are online and, believe it or not, we're still in a pandemic. Some people don't believe that, but we're still there. Not like we were 2 years ago, but we're still there. No audience is necessary for your persuasive recording. No audience is required. So I'm saying it for the record. No audience is required. And of course, this video is being recorded, and I will post this recording in the student lounge. So anyone who wants to see that, they know no audience is required. So now that we got those two PSAs out the way, I want to talk to you about the structure of your persuasive talk. And one of the best structures I see, and again, I use this at College Park as well, is the Monroe's Motivated Challenge. Well, not challenge, sequence, everything's a challenge online. And it's been developed by a person by the name of Alan Monroe in the 30s, believe it or not, and it's still used today. Hopefully you can see it. Can you see it okay?
Let me see if I can turn my screen sideways.
Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. Yeah, I'm glad you put that back to normal, man. I was beginning to get the Cloverfield effect here.
Oh, it's it's on the phone, so it takes half a second for it to readjust.
Right. Okay. So can you see it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about Monroe's motivated sequence, and I'll share that with you. Now, there's three types of speeches, persuasive speeches. Main types, I'll say it like this, and this is based on your audience. As an audience, they have beliefs, they bring an attitude to the table, and of course, behaviors. So the best way to handle each one of those situations, let's say like a presentation, beliefs, those that have certain beliefs, you probably would do better at persuading them with presentations of facts, throwing lots of facts at them. And of course, citing your sources, orally citing your sources. So that's the best way to target those who have certain beliefs. Now, those with certain attitudes, audience speaking, you want to focus your presentation maybe on a talk of some kind of value, okay? Something with a little bit of value in it. And then when it comes down to audience who carry certain behaviors, you may want to focus your presentation on talks of policy, so like legislative policies and things of that nature. you have a better opportunity, better chance of persuading your audience who, feels this way. And again, this comes back to your audience analysis. When you know your audience, you know who you're talking to, you know how to target your particular talk. Never forget that. Know your audience. Okay, so going to Monroe's motivated sequence. Now here's a basic structure. You can structure your outline, and then fill in the blanks just with this information alone. The first part of Monroe's motivated sequence is you have a hook, and bottom line, the attention getter. How are you going to capture their attention? Are you going to hit them up with a fact, statistic, tell a story, personal testimony, example, humor, all of that stuff? But whatever it takes to get your audience attention. And then you highlight the challenge or the problem. What is the particular problem? So for example, I'll say, for convenience sake, again, global warming or climate change. And the problem with that, you highlight that. Then in your talk, you offer a solution based on your fact and your research. Now, number 6, some people make, when they're giving a talk, they think that they're the ones, unless they're an expert in that field that they're talking about, that they come up with the solution. But there are organizations and groups who are doing this work tirelessly every day. And they have papers out there, they have information out there, and you can extrapolate that information from there in terms of solutions. But like I said, if you're an expert in this particular field, then, hey, feel free to weigh in on that. Okay, so now you brought up the problem, you brought up the solution. There's one thing that is missing that I'm adding to this. Argument, counter argument. What side of the fence are you on? If you believe in global warming and climate change, then that's your particular argument. But it is best when you also mention those who don't believe. There are groups and organizations and individuals that don't believe it's a thing. So, so if you say, hey, group ABC thinks that climate change is real based on this, and then group, DEF don't believe it, then you mention that. So you've offered the problem, you offered the solution, and then comes the future, or like I said, a visualization. If we do what we can to, let's say, reduce our carbon footprint, plastics, clean up, fuel emission, things of that nature, we'll breathe better air. We will drink better water, things of that nature. And that's the future. That's the visualization. And then next, just as important as your hook, is your call to action. So now if you want to take a part in improving climate change, call this 800 number, or come to the protest, or volunteer your time for the protesters, or donate XYZ. Reason why I mention all these different type of things, because you're more likely to persuade somebody to help you if you give them multiple options versus one thing. So give them multiple options. Any comments or questions on that?
Yes, sir. The argument, counter argument section, would you put that as its own section, or would you include that as a subsection of the solution category of Monroe's motivational sequence?
Very good question. In fact, I was thinking about that after I mentioned that. Be honest with you, I would I would put it right between the hook and the problem.
Oh, between the hook and the problem.
Yeah. I know I said it as though it goes right after the solution, but maybe between the hook and the problem. Any other questions? That's a good question.
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Now, there's several types of persuasive appeals, and it is part of your overall rhetoric, and that is your ethos, pathos, and logos. Most students may have talked about this in high school or what have you, but anyway, I'll just give a quick refresher on this. And bottom line is, your ethos is pretty much what's your credibility. Now, I always give students the option to pick the topic on something that they're passionate about, because usually you know a little bit about that even before you begin the research. So I always like to share, and that's your ethos, what makes me credible to talk about certain things. Hey, what makes me credible to go out and give a speech on how to improve your presentational skills? Well, I've been a business owner, public speaking business owner for almost 20 years. I'm authoring a book. I teach at 3 universities doing this. So I'm immersed in this. And if that's not enough credibility, I don't know what is. So when you pick your topic that you want to persuade, don't be afraid or be shy to tell people, hey, I'm credible to talk about this because, okay? Next thing, your audience. Well, the pathos, which involves your audience. And pathos is Greek for emotion. How do you want them to feel when you're persuading? Reflective, angry, joyous? Think about people who, good or bad, give presentations to their audience. Get them riled up, to get them excited and motivated to do something, or get them riled up and excited and angry. That's what you call a pathos. And this is already thought out well in advance. So ask yourself, what do you want the audience to feel? Now, we've all seen those commercials, those like cigarette commercials, and they're showing the person with the tube in them and things of that nature, and stuff like that. And then at the end of the thing, it said that person had died or whatever. That is definitely a pathos message, because they're scaring the bejeebies out of people, or at least trying to not smoke. Here's what can happen to you. Here are real people who this has happened to. So think about those things. And then logos, your message. Bottom line is, have you done your homework? In other words, do you have your facts together? Are you orally citing your sources? Because as I said in the earlier presentation, they said will not cut it. You have to have sources. It shows that you research it. It shows that you know what you're talking about. And I can trust you, because if you say XYZ came from the Washington Post, for instance, or the New York Times or whatever, I might go look it up. Be like, okay, this dude know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? I haven't seen, and I'm sure there probably is a website called They Said. But anyway, any comments or questions on that? What I just shared with you. Okay. Let's stop. Let me stop this for a second. No, I'll go on to the next thing. All right.
Actually,
Yes,
I
sir.
did have a question for you, sir.
You want me to go back?
It's okay. I don't need it to ask a question.
Okay.
It's just when you're creating your speech, is it ideal to wrap as many of those together as you can? Or is it more ideal to focus on one of those rhetoric devices, such as ethos, pathos, or logos, specifically, as opposed to focusing on bringing them all in together?
All of them need to be a part of it. All of them need to be added to the recipe. Yeah. So again, you're doing this for a reason, to make someone feel a certain way. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's, you heard me talk about it earlier, how to make the perfect steak. Okay, well, heck, that might give somebody confidence who really don't know how to make a steak. Make them feel good. Yeah, I can do this. And yeah, and you know, what makes you the qualified on how to make a steak? And then you bring in your boys, like, look at him, he's happy. I'm just teasing, but you know, so yeah, all of that should be in the recipe. Good question.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, it reminded me of something I heard once on TED Talks about speeches, how you should be speaking to people who don't know too much about the subject, and also to people who do know a lot about the subject. So it would make sense to affect people on an emotional level who don't know, or people who do know, because you don't have to cite all the sources. They already know all that.
Right.
And then for the people who don't know much about the field, just kind of establishing that credibility, and then that makes a lot of sense.
Well, you know, that's a good point. You'd be surprised what people do know and what they don't know. And you can feed them both with citations and sources. But, you know, you got to do the work. Yeah. That's right. So, you know, you might have somebody in the audience and you might say, well, you know, if you put this ingredient on there, this will help tenderize the steak better. You know, dude might already know how to do that, but he might be like, well, I didn't know to use that. I'll try that. You know what I mean? So, you never know. All right. So I have a, hopefully you can hear it okay. It's a brief, I think it's less than 10 minutes. It's a video. And it's a TED Talk by a gentleman by the name of Ron Finley. And one of his claim to fame, in fact, he's in that so-called masterclass group now with Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra and all these folks, man. He's part of this pod now. But he talks about taking inner city blighted real estate and turning it into vegetable gardens to help people in those communities reclaim their health, because they don't have the best of grocery stores and they have to travel, in some cases by bus or metro, to the nearest grocery store to get good stuff because they're living in a so-called food desert. And how it helped people reclaim their health versus the place being littered with dialysis machines and liquor stores and everything. You know what I mean? It's an incredible message. So what you will hear in this talk is the hook, the opening. You're going to hear about the problem, the solution, the vision of the future, what it looks like, and one of the most powerful call to actions I ever heard. So let's take a quick listen. And let me know if you have any problems hearing it or seeing it. See it okay?
Can't hear it, sir.
Say it again.
I can't hear the
Can't hear it? Okay, I'll turn it up.
video.
Okay, I'll turn it up. Is that better?
No.
Oh, boy. Okay. You like can't hear it at all?
No.
Okay.
I hear the baristas.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will post this video in the student lounge, and you can take a listen there. How about that? Yeah, let's go that route. That might be better. But I'd strongly encourage, take a listen to it because it's a great message. Okay, let's see. Something else I want to run by you while it's on my mind. Okay, so now, just like your informative talk, I want each and every one of you to, if possible, stand and deliver. Engage the camera, verbal, nonverbal gestures, speak up, make sure that the volume is up in your video, make sure that you have good lighting, all of that good stuff. And please, please, please stay within the time. That's the very first thing I will look for. And post your presentation link in the assignment grade book. Do not, I'm talking to other students out there because you get it. Do not upload a video file. Stay within the time, do not upload a video file. Okay, got that PSA out. I guess this will be the last time that we talk. So let's see what else. The reflection paper is due Sunday, August 7th, for 11:59. Get that in, and we go from there. Comments or questions?
I was just going to ask, just to rehash the time limit for the persuasive speech that was.
I believe that one is 6 to 8 minutes. Let me double check.
6 to 8.
Yeah, let me double check. Yep, it's 6 to 8 minutes.
6 to 8. Okay.
Yep. Any other questions?
Not that I could think of.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course from your post, it's the same. It's going to be roughly related to the same topic as our informative speech, correct?
I would like to hear something different.
Oh.
Yeah, I would like to hear something different. Excuse me. Yeah.
Like a completely unrelated topic, or?
Well, let's say it like this, not the same topic.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just wondering because I didn't know if it was for the sake of the speech, if you wanted it to be, because I remember seeing something in there that you wanted it to be roughly the same, but now you're saying that you want it to be something different.
Really?
That's possible for the writer.
I don't think I said the same. I don't think I innuendoed that. But like I said, just not the exact same thing. Because some of those talks you can't turn into a persuasive. Some of them can't be turned into a persuasive talk. Well, and again, I guess anything can be turned into a persuasive talk. I don't know. But
With enough creativity, right?
yeah, yeah. We're the thinking class. Now let's say if you gave a talk on the solar system, but then you want to talk about why we should colonize Mars, then something else.
Related but different.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're not that creative, then you're just gonna have to pivot. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, that's all I had. Yeah, I'd have to go back and read everything as far as what gave me that impression, but yeah, thank you for the answer though.
Okay. All right. You're welcome. Well, Mr. Sears, this is it, man. Thank you for being a wonderful student, man. Not every
thank you,
student get bestowed the request to use one of their presentations as an example for other people, man. Everyone doesn't get that. I've been doing this at UMGC for 23 years. I can count the students, and not that it means everyone didn't cut it, but it's just there's Steph Curry and then there's Michael Jordan, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I started video editing probably 6 months ago. So
Really?
I've
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
I think I believe I mentioned it in my intro
Yeah.
essay, but I want to be between now and when I want to do humanitarian work, I want to do freelance videography and freelance journalism.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
yeah, that's why I was like, oh, thank you.